Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome back in our partner enablement video series. Today we will be going to talk about how to sell a hub and spoke network policy in Azure, or how you can help a customer to build a hub and spoke network topology for the Azure resources which they already running into the Azure. Now here is the agenda of today's video. So we'll be going to talk about what is the hub and spoke topology, what are the benefits, when we can use it, what are the use case, and then we'll be going to run through with the reference architecture, what are the key components and what are the cost consideration is going to be when you are selling a hub and spoke network topology to the customer. Let's quickly jump to the introduction. So, hub and spoke network model organize your Azure-based cloud network infrastructure into a multiple connected virtual network. This model allows you to more eff- efficiently manage the common communication or security requirement and deal with the potential server subscription limitation. So, what happened in the in the landing zone, hub and spoke module is the one of the factor which has been there. But again, landing zone is or creating a landing zone is a or is adopting a one of the network framework, identity monitoring, policy stuff like that. But if you really don't want to go in that situation, or if your customer is not agree to invest that much of money in the landing zone, hub and spoke can be a simplest solution for that kind of scenario, where you at least going to have once standardize a network topology, and that can be also mm, help you to manage effectively all the communication security requirements for your subscriptions, right? As we know, hub and spoke is the networking model for effectively managing the communications and security requirements. It's also help avoid Azure subscription limitations, right? So let's take an example like where you might be running a two subscription, and on one subscription you limit already have used all the limits. It's all the hard limit has been completed, right? It's already exhausted. Now in that case, what you can do, you can take the advantage of hub and spoke topology. You can have a more subscription running in, and then you can build a one subscription for your as a hub network, and from there you can manage all of your spoke network and the workload there. Now what are the concern basically addressed by this module? Saving a cost and effective manage. Now in this case, what exactly that mean is, let's take an example. You have a five network, right? In a five network, deploying a network virtual appliances, deploying a DNS server, or deploying the active directory domain server would not be a cost effective solution, right? What customer can do with the hub and spoke topology, he can have a one firewall running in the hub, and that all the network can connect with that specific firewall, or maybe running a DNS server, maybe running the active directory domain server, and from that single hub network where all of the services are deployed can connect to the all of the rest of the subscription. You don't need to repeatedly deploy all of the services in the rest of the subscription, right? Overcoming the subscription limitations, right? As we know, Azure is have a lot of resources. We can deploy a n number of amounts of resources, but still there is the limitations, right? To overcome on that kind of situation, the hub network or hub and spoke network model can help you in that. A separation of concern, right? That's again is a one of the concern. You can deploy individual workload between a centralized IT team and the workload team. So one of the these are the three major concern which is addressed by this topology. What are the use case? Yes, there is a three use case. Workload deployed in a different environment, such as the deployment, testing, and application. They require to shared services such as a DNS, IDS, NTP, and ADDS. Shared services placed in a different network or in a hub network, and then you can connect them and each environment in deployed. Each environment is deployed to spoke to maintain the isolation. That's a one use case. So the first use case is a very important because we have seen a lot of customer are deploying a multiple IPS IDS solution, NTP solution, DNS solution in a different subscription, and this can lead customer to have a more high billing inside the inside the all the resources for Azure. But this side of this kind of services can be deployed in one of the hub network, and from there it can be extended to the spoke using the VNet pairing. Second, workload that don't require a connectivity to each other but require access to the shared services. Yes, that's the one that's the second use case. Third, enterprise required a centralized control over the security aspects such as a firewall in a hub as a DMZ and the segregated management for workload in the each spoke. So these are the three use case, and I think all of them are pretty much important when you are talking to the customer. Well, when to use? So there are the certain scenario where you can use hub and spoke topology. First, in presence of workload deployed in a different environment which required access to shared services like DNS, AD, maybe running the antivirus, stuff like that. In that way, you can place all of them in the hub, and then you can connect with all the spoke, and they will be able to connect to the all of these services. At the same time, we will be able to maintain a high level of isolations to the environment. When certain workload must not communicate to the other workload, but only communicate with with the shared one. Third, in the presence of reality that require a high level control over this aspect related to the network security, needing to make a segregation of network traffic. So these are the three things when to use the hub and spoke topology. Benefit, as I told you, cost saving is the one of the thing which will be going to be there to have the hub and spoke module, because in the hub you will be going to deploy all of your shared services, and from there you will be going to extend it to all the spoke, right? And that's where a cost saving happen. Second, granular level of separations of tasks between IT and the workload. Third, greater flexibility in terms of management and the security of Azure environment. Right? So these are the three benefits. Now, what is the selling point going to be? Right? So selling point going to be where customer might be running a multiple subscriptions and multiple networks, and they are having or managing all the networks on their own. They don't have any kind of hub networking, or they don't have any kind of centralized location from where they are having the connectivity to the on-premise or to the branch location and connecting it. They might be having like running the multiple VPNs, running the multiple firewalls, which may end them to have a higher cost, right? That's where you can go ahead and pitch in this solution and told them to deploy their shared services like a firewall, VPN, Active Directory in the hub, and then from there they can extend their hub services to the all the spoke, and they can take the advantage of this topology to maintain the security, flexibility, separation, right? At the same time, they can have their cost saving enabled in their billing. Well, this is how your reference architecture look like for hub and spoke model. If you see in the hub network, you have all your shared services like Azure Bastion, Azure Firewall, VPN gateway, and then you do have a Azure Monitor, VMs, net, which is there in the spoke network, and they are basically connected to each other over the pair, and over the pair they will be having their connection to the Microsoft Workman network. Now, if you really want to go deep dive inside the Azure Bastion, Azure Firewall, and VPN gateway, we do have created a separate video on that. There is a link in the description. Please go ahead and use that link to go deep, to have a deep dive on these three services, right? So this is how your reference architecture of look like. Your spoke count may be going to high, or your hub may have a more services, which you can do that you can add a more shared services inside the hub, and your spoke can have a more VM, or maybe your spoke network can have a 4 5 10 as per the business requirement, right? So ultimately goal is here to save the cost and have the segregation. Well, what are the key components? Hub network is the one of the key component which will be going to have all the shared services at the same time, that is basically connecting with the on-premise spoke workload, which is going to have all the spoke virtual machine, and spoke will be getting connected to the hub over the pairing, and will be able to access all the shared services deployed in the hub network. We do have a virtual network pairing which will be allow you to connect to virtual network inside a tenant. Bastion can be used to securely connect with the VM. Fifth, Azure Virtual Machine will be going to work there as a firewall, and it's completely a managed firewall as a service. VPN gateway or express route gateway. So these will be used to connect with the on-premise, and then you do have a VPN devices which will be going to allow you to connect between the on-premise and to the Azure VPN gateway. Well, what are the cost considerations going to be to hub and spoke? For the networking, you are not going to pay anything, but there are still few services which you might be get charged. One thing is the firewall, and the second thing is the virtual network pairing. Third is the Bastion which you have deployed, and fourth is the Azure Virtual Network Gateway which you have deployed. So these are the four resources which will be going to be there to charge going to be charged for the services. At the same time, you need to make sure, you need to think about it how the sizing is going to be happen, right? With the firewall, you do have a two types of sizing, right? You can go with the standard or you can go with the premium, but at the same time, premium will be going to have a more features like IPS, IDS, and HTTP URL filtering, but with the standard these three features are not there. But yeah, there is a lot of pricing difference are there. VNet pairing will be there, which will be going to allow you to charge what kind of data coming inside and outside, and even is there data transfer in the different zones. And then the VPN gateway will be get charged based on the SKU size you will be getting selected, and then for the best in definitely you will be going to charge for that, right? Now let's move to the demo. So in the demo, I have deployed a one hub network and a one spoke network. Both of them are connected, and in a hub I do have a firewall, and in a spoke I do have a virtual machine, right? So now what I'm going to do, I will be going to deploy a one Bastion service inside a hub, and then I will show you how you can connect to the spoke and how you can use hub and spoke topology to share the services to the spoke network. Well, I have on my portal, I logged in my one of my users inside the Azure portal. So in this one, you will be see there's a two network in the one of the resource group. One is the hub and one is the network. If you go inside the hub, you will be able to see there is the firewall has been deployed. And if you go inside the firewall, this is the standard firewall, and all of these are features is there. And at the same time, this hub network is basically paired with the spoke network, which means all the networking requests coming from the spoke to hub will be getting served over this pairing. Now let's quickly go to the Azure hub network and deploy the Bastion service here. For that, what I can do, I have a two ways. I can go to the virtual machine which I have deployed. So this is my spoke VM, and here I can go ahead and deploy the Bastion service. I just need to select the uh, the name. I need to select the location. I need to select the virtual network configuration. Okay, so subnet is not there. It's going to be Azure Bastion subnet, right? So let me go ahead and deploy the, all right. So I am adding the Azure Bastion subnet inside the hub network. So it's going to take 1 or 2 minutes. Let me cancel this one. Yep, you can see I have the Bastion subnet deploy. Let's go back. Let's go back to the create Bastion. You'll see it automatically picked up the this name of the subnet, and let's define the IP, and that's it. I just need to define the things and click on create. So as soon as you click on create, it will be going to deploy a one Bastion host inside the hub network, and that's something you can validate by going on Olive demo resource group, and you will be able to see like there is the Bastion services is getting deployed here. Yet the IP has been deployed. So let's quickly give it a few uh, seconds here to get this deploy. Most probably 1 or 2 minutes. Once the deployment has been completed, you will be able to see like the Bastion has been done, right? So you will see that Bastion has been showing here, but it's still in updating state. So it's in a provisioning state. So we will not be able to use it as of now. So we need to give it a few minutes to get this provisioning state updated or completed, and then we will be able to use that, right? And then uh, so as of now we'll be going to use that, and then I will be show you you can directly use this Bastion host to connect directly from the spoke network. You see that Bastion is showing is currently in the updating state, so it's automatically picked up the Bastion which is there in the hub network. At the same time, you can take the advantage of firewall also, which is deployed in the hub network by defining the UDR on the VM. Now, as I told you, we do have created a separate video for Azure Firewall and Azure Bastion host, and for the VPN gateway. Go ahead and check out those video. Link is in the description if you want to go and have a deep dive on those services. So let's give it a few more minutes to get this updated or this provisioning status get completed. As soon as this is getting completed, we will be able to use this Bastion host to use or have the RDP session with the VM which is there inside the spoke. Let me refresh the page once and see what's is the state is there. Most probably, okay, it's still doing the updating. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes more, and then we will be going to use this Bastion host to connect with the VM. So it's still showing is Bastion is in updating state. So let's wait for few more minutes, like 1 or 2. Yep, so provisioning state is still getting updated. I think it's taking a little bit a long time, I think. So let's wait for that, and once that is completed, we will be able to move forward. Well, it's taking a longer time than expected. Usually it's the Bastion host deployment get complete in 2 to 3 minutes, but in our case it's taking more than that. And as I told you, as soon as the Bastion host has been deployed, we will be able to go inside and we will be able to use the Bastion host here. And we just need to basically, enter the username and the password, and it will be going to allow you to connect with this VM. So that's how you can use the Bastion host uh, or the services which has been deployed in the hub network as a shared services to get connected with the spoke network. Well, that's it in the demo. I hope you like this video. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming videos, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.